Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 5 was filler trash. It was nostalgia bait. Anakin Skywalker returned and all of the Disney shills and Filoni faithful are on their knees, sucking off the so-called savior of Star Wars. This is a complete disgrace. With all the failures of Disney Star Wars, fans are still pumped. They're still excited to turn on Communist Plus and consume Disney Star Wars. I have been ripping apart this garbage show, and that will continue. Here is my review for Episode 5. The opening scene starts off with a recap of what happened in the last episode. We're halfway through the show, and it's fair to say the music for this show sucks. It is nowhere near the quality of John Williams. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. Hera and her stupid green-haired SJW EU plagiarizing son Jason land on the planet. Hera finds Hu Yang crying about Ahsoka and Sabine.
I told them to stay together. But they never listen. They never listen.
They didn't listen because this show contains terrible writing. Had Ahsoka stayed to help Sabine 2-on-1 Shin, they would have beat her quickly. But Ahsoka runs off, forgetting the fact that Sabine was Reva'd in her first attempt at Shin. I guess Ahsoka thought the empowering haircut and 1 hour of plagiarized Star Wars A New Hope training was enough to close the gap. Inexcusable garbage from Dave Filoni, the savior of Star Wars. This takes us to the world between worlds, a concept George Lucas would have never approved. We don't know what Ahsoka is doing here, and if it's really Anakin. Anakin proceeds to attack Ahsoka 2 minutes into this because, why not? Anakin is back! Why he's back? Why is he attacking Ahsoka?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares? Hayden Christensen is back in the role. He's showing off his saber techniques. Yeah, this is Star Wars, man. Yeah, Dave Filoni is cooking. He's cooking, man. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how fans forget about the complete destruction of Star Wars because Hayden Christensen starts swinging around his lightsaber. This doesn't fix anything. This is fan fiction. This is something you'd see in a fan film. Jason is able to sense Ahsoka somehow. Unlike Sabine, he's actually force sensitive. As garbage of a character he is, with time and training he has the potential to be a Jedi. But midichlorians and potential in the Force only matters when Sabine isn't involved. They name drop Senator Organa, and it just makes you wonder, where's Leia? Where's Han? Where's Luke? I think everyone would agree we'd rather watch a show with those three than Season 5 of Star Wars Rebels, but Disney decanonized the expanded universe and is replacing it with crap like this. And maybe you're a fan of this crap. You got some Filoni shit nuggets stuck in your teeth. But are you really going to tell me that this is better than what we could have seen adapted on screen? We get a pointless scene of Jason, the green-haired SJW kid, being able to hear the lightsabers. And Hera could hear it too. She's not force sensitive. Why can she also hear it?
I don't know. Who cares?
Who cares? Anakin is swinging around that saber. Dave Filoni is cooking. We still don't know why Anakin is attacking Ahsoka, and we still haven't forgotten how terrible the first 4 episodes were, how Disney has completely destroyed this IP. But look at him go! Nostalgia bait at its finest. Anakin swipes at the ground, causing Ahsoka to fall into the Clone Wars of all places, and the fan fiction continues.
You must be excited. Not many people get to meet our writing staff.
Of course. It all makes sense now.
None of this has to make any sense. It's just Anakin in a dream sequence in a Filoni safe space where the sequel trilogy doesn't exist, where Rey Skywalker isn't a thing, where Jake Skywalker isn't a thing, in a place that's so magical where anything can happen. They're in the Clone Wars for some reason. Ahsoka has morphed into the younger Ahsoka, just because. And there's something off about her. She doesn't really look like Ahsoka. It looks like she's suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome. There's a break in the battle. Ahsoka is upset about the clones for some reason. This just reminds me of Tales of the Jedi. More Anakin and Ahsoka that we didn't see previously, that we didn't want, and we didn't need.
Anakin sends her back in time or within her memories or something.
Is this a flashback, or is she experiencing this again in a different way? At some parts she acts confused, like, what am I doing here? At others it feels like a flashback. Which is it?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, it's best not to ask these questions. Filoni is cooking, and he's cooking hard.
You know, teaching's not all it's cracked up to be.
Really? What makes you say that?
I'm joking.
You're joking.
Yeah, I'm joking.
How can you joke at a time like this?
Anakin tries to make light of the situation. Ahsoka gets triggered that he told a joke. Anakin proceeds to walk away, and Ahsoka sees him as Vader. Ooh, foreshadowing. What does this scene indicate? Anakin turned to the dark side because he joked around too much? He became Vader because he chose to continue fighting in a war instead of having the bitch mindset of Ahsoka? I guess Dave Filoni is trying to tell us Anakin Skywalker turned to Darth Vader because he mansplained Ahsoka. We cut back to Jason again. They are really developing this character. He's going to be a major factor in Rey's Jedi Order. And yes, for all the people gargling Filoni's balls in the Filoni faithful, Rey Skywalker is still a thing, and is the future of Disney Star Wars. All the terrible shit that happened in Disney Star Wars still exists and will forever exist in this canon. But by all means, enjoy the filler nostalgia bait episode. We get to the next scene. Ahsoka has white lightsabers now. The previous one, she had one green lightsaber. Why the change?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? This is the Clone Wars, baby! Oh, yeah! Spank my ass, Filoni! Ho, 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 whoa! Ho. Ride that cowboy!
I don't know this battle.
This was the siege of Mandalore. We had parted ways by now.
I guess the answer is we switch battles, which is strange because it looks the same as the last one. But I guess Disney needs to save money with the smoky backgrounds.
If I have a nitpick of these sequences, it's all the fog and haziness. I get it, it's all Ahsoka's cloudy memories. I think it would have been cooler to really see Mandalore and really see Ryloth, but I assume having Hayden and de-aging him so well took a significant portion of the budget for this episode, maybe even the entire season.
Ahsoka is questioning whether she's a worthless piece of shit because of all the death. Then Anakin proceeds to really mansplain, pulls out his red lightsaber this time and has Sith eyes. Why all of a sudden is he Vader now?
I don't know. Who cares?
This is some fine nostalgia bait. Wow, Anakin is Vader. Oh yeah, Filoni's cooking. He's cooking. Oh yeah. Yeah, Filoni, you keep cooking. And they start to fight again. Anakin kicks Ahsoka back to the main part of the world between worlds just because it looks cool. Anakin walks towards Ahsoka, changing back and forth from suited Vader because it looks cool.
You lack conviction.
And Anakin's voice is halfway suited Vader's voice because it sounds cool. And then Anakin continues to attack Ahsoka with his red lightsaber because it looks really cool. This is fire, brah. Filoni's cooking up something good. Anakin is attacking Ahsoka, and she magically is able to steal Anakin's lightsaber, essentially defeating him.
Like, he's supposed to be this great guy, wiped out all these people. I don't know. She took that lightsaber and was like, I'm going to take you out. And she did, and I'm all for it. And she looks strong.
Anakin disappears. The trippy world between worlds training lesson is over. The point of the training was to convince Ahsoka that life is worth living and to help clear her head of the past. The real point of the training was to use nostalgia to clickbait the Star Wars fandom with Anakin Skywalker. It really seems to be working because people are deep-throating Filoni all over the internet. Anakin attacking Ahsoka like this is something absurd and straight out of a fan fiction. It's too easy. Why not just throw Palpatine in the mix, Count Dooku, have Anakin battle Qui-Gon? It doesn't have to make any sense at all. Hayden Christensen, I thought he delivered, despite the terrible script he was given. Mark Hamill, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, they all still got it. They can play these characters. Unfortunately, they've been hijacked by Disney, and fans are too stupid to realize it. Hashtag not my Luke, hashtag not my Obi-Wan, hashtag not my Anakin. There was so much hype going into this episode. There were leaks talking about Ahsoka on Mustafar. People were theorizing Ahsoka was going to battle Anakin on Mustafar. She was going to go back to Order 66. She was going to have a very emotional line of dialogue with Anakin, pleading with him to see the lights. Anakin, it's not too late. I'm Ahsoka. Everyone's imaginations were going wild with this. Were we going to get another long, drawn-out lightsaber duel on Mustafar, but this time with Anakin and Ahsoka? They all thought it was going to be epic. It was going to be deep, and it didn't happen. Mustafar didn't happen. The deep emotional plea to Anakin, the amazing choreographed fight between Anakin and Ahsoka on the lava planet didn't happen. The leaks were wrong. Hashtag Jason Ward was wrong. I thought the leaks were terrible. I had no interest in seeing this fan fiction. But when Filoni's fan fiction sequence in episode 5 of the Ahsoka series was over, I couldn't help but think, the Mustafar leaks would have been better. This whole Anakin sequence was a total cock tease to the Star Wars fandom. It was really not needed in this episode. Ahsoka's mind is more clear from it, but at the end of the day, it's just filler. It wasn't necessary to move the story. Ahsoka is rescued. She's able to see the past by holding the broken map because of plot, I guess. The last 12 minutes of the episode is something out of Free Willy. Ahsoka jacking off the space whales. And what better way to jack off the space whales than to be dressed in the Ahsoka the White attire?
Do you prefer fashion victim or ensemble challenge?
I thought Filoni retconned that. It's back now? Is she Gandalf? I mean Ahsoka the White? They go in the whale's mouth, ripping off Finding Nemo, and they go into light speed, on to another galaxy to find Ezra and Sabine. Star Wars Ahsoka Episode 5 was filler trash. It was nostalgia bait. This show is complete garbage. It's taken 5 episodes to establish that there is a map to Thrawn, and for them to make their way to the other galaxy. During all this, we had a terribly written forced master and apprenticeship between Ahsoka and Sabine, a revying, horribly choreographed lightsaber duels, and Anakin Skywalker nostalgia bait. We have 3 episodes left, and where's this going? The new galaxy? At some point we'll actually see Disney Thrawn. Maybe Ezra will make a cameo at the end. Probably an Ahsoka Baylan Skull rematch. One thing for sure is Sabine. We are getting Rey 2.0. Her force powers are going to awaken sometime in the next 3 episodes. She has been developed in this show. Filoni has no regard for the Force. He loves Rey and all the unearned abilities she had in The Force Awakens. Sabine is going to unleash her Rey powers. The Disney shills, the Filoni faithful, will continue to ride the Dave Filoni cock. Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars. It will never be Star Wars. I will continue to rip apart this show. I will continue to red pill the fandom. The Knights of Melvin will continue to use the dark side of the Force to avenge Star Wars.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.